Hello, this is Eon Con 2020. This video has been uploaded in March of 2021. Why is that? Well, the answer's simple. Eon Con 2020 was a disaster. People like to cite 2020 as being a horrible year, and for some, even the worst year of their lives. There was a pandemic, war threats, riots, whatever, you already know about this no matter how far in the future you are when you watch this video. It was that impactful of a year. But the thing is, for me, 2020 was narratively supposed to happen. Yes, narratively. In a strange way, depending on how I move forward, 2020 could probably even be my saving grace from myself. Whoa. Whoa. Now, if you're familiar with Eon Con, then you might be wondering what this video even is. For those who don't know, Eon Con is a yearly joke convention that I started in 2018, where the Void Eon character creates a convention, wants people to arrive at the convention, sulks a bit when nobody shows up, and then, well, something happens, I guess, I don't know. Production of the cons is always in December, but it seems like it's some kind of yearly tradition to upload the videos early the next year, I don't know. Eon Con 2018 was like a script-driven kind of thing, while Eon Con 2019 was more akin to an actual convention, with a Q&A segment and a live performance by myself. Now, the reason why I always make these videos in the last month of the year is because it's supposed to be a fun little way to just celebrate the passing of a year. A good little way to just kind of rally everything together, I guess. So, what happened with Eon Con 2020 then? Okay. Unlike the previous two Eon Cons that was barely planned, for Eon Con 2018 I had a whole script written and everything, and I spent a lot of time rehearsing for the live performance in Eon Con 2019. During the 22nd of December, my two friends, Chris and George, threw together a mostly improvised Q&A segment for Eon Con 2020. But to be fair, the Q&A segment in Eon Con 2019 was incredibly improvised and thrown together as well. And there isn't anything wrong with that, but the real way Eon Con 2020 fails is the live performance segment. And I filmed the live performance segment during the 26th of December. I didn't make an effort to prepare the track list, and I just casually thought about covering the cardiac songs I knew how to play on my keyboard. The only problem with that was that I had forgotten how to play them on the spot. So, I did the best thing I thought of. I resorted to just kind of singing over previous practice recordings I did of them, much prior to the filming of this performance. Cats and the rats and the mice chase the dogs, eat the pigs, chase the cats, eat the mice, eat the bricks, chase the house, house and mouse, chase the... Now, the thing about the live performances for Eon Con is that they're always one take, because it's supposed to resemble a live atmosphere. This means that I'm not able to cut anything out. That's a downside. So with this one-take wonder mentality in mind, I decided to randomly do more songs out of the blue, since I only had planned to do the Cardiacs covers, as well as an old song of mine called Mental Oddities. This impromptu song selection ranged from a Gilbert and Sullivan cover, "When you're lying awake with a dismal headache and repose is tabooed by anxiety, I can see if you may use any language you choose to indulge in without impropriety," to the song from my Halloween special. "As a vampire, I am personally offended." And since I didn't prepare for these songs to be performed, I messed up a lot. Which is something between a large bathing machine and a very small second-class carriage. I had the phone horizontally, and at one point I accidentally reset it, so let's just say here I'm at one point here, go like this, and all of a sudden it's at the top again. Reversal of the spare, brighting sparky showing flare, loosens flesh from machine, granted it obscene. I hate the fact that I've messed up these lyrics right now. It was all just kind of bad, really. Throughout the con, my character constantly blames the coronavirus pandemic for why nobody showed up. There's no one here. And that is because of a very topical thing in 2020, and that is something called the coronavirus. That's right, people. The coronavirus is a virus. Oh, wait a second. You know what? There isn't even an audience there. And you know why that is? It's because of the coronavirus. That's why there isn't an audience there. Alright? I just want to make that clear. I spent months preparing for this, and I got a lot of people interested with posters and whatnot, Oh well. This is concluded by my character introspecting himself and coming to terms that simply nobody wants to attend the con, and does a bit of a more emotional song than I'd usually do. This is very much, spoiler alert, like the end of Eon Con 2019, but a bit more forced overall. Now, with all of this in mind, it'd be easy to consider Eon Con 2020 as being nothing more than a failed project. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with scrapping your projects, because there's always a way to improve your mistakes, no matter how infinitesimal the example may be, and I've learned that being able to know when to regroup and try something again is an amazing ideology to have. But after thinking about it, it actually makes complete sense for EonCon 2020 to be the way it is. Those pesky writers are at it again with that subtle symbolism. Oh boy. I'm still waiting for them to write the arc where I have friends. Okay, allow me to explain. Do you remember what I said earlier about the EonCon videos in a way being a representation of the years that they're set in? Okay, I know what you're thinking right now. You think I'm going to metaphorically attribute the barrage of the negative aspects of 2020 to the failure of EonCon 2020, and you would be technically correct, but you're looking at it in a more external way. You gotta look at it in a more internal way. You gotta look at it as if you were the person of me. Okay, I know that would still be an external way of looking at it because you aren't me, but shut up. Did I really build up this whole video just to talk about myself? Yes. Yes, I did. The first video came out on this channel on the 5th of October 2016. Besides this video that you're currently watching right now, the amount of videos public on this channel by the time this video comes out would be 36. My videos vary in terms of how much effort I put into them, but I still love all of them, not only for the historical importance they hold for me personally, but also because my videos kind of truly represent who I am. I can still remember back in 2015, when I was first editing one of my first actual videos all over again. It felt absolutely incredible to me to just simply create something. The video was alive, it was my imagination brought to life, it was me. When I made video game reviews in the following years, that feeling was reinvigorated stronger than ever, given how I was able to make more complex stuff with more experience. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. The best feeling that I have ever experienced, and ever will experience, is the feeling I get when I'm successfully crafting a highly complex project to the point where the editing is just absurdly intricate and specific, to generate a finalized product I can genuinely be happy and proud of. No money, no fame, or anything involved, it's just purely my enjoyment. That's why I've been making videos for so long. That's why I always wear that same shirt too. It represents my will to do all of this stuff. It's been appearing since the first video. I've just always wanted to create stuff, and I know that might seem to be a bit cliche to say, but it's true. Now, a very important thing to know is that despite video making being one of my favorite things to do in my life, and despite how long I've been doing it on YouTube, I haven't done that much. I've had the tendency to waste my time for years now, from even before I started uploading YouTube videos. I specifically waste my time by being on the internet. Okay, whenever I come home from school, I just don't want to do anything and relax, despite the fact that I don't even do any work at school. This, in combination with my own general negligence, has led to an Ouroboros lifestyle in which I don't get anything done. Schoolwork is whatever, I'll just submit any crap I can, but my passion for video making has suffered greatly in these past 4 and almost a half years that I've spent on YouTube. Remember, this has been going on for far before 2020. So when the coronavirus restrictions started taking place and everyone went into lockdown, something weird started happening. I can hear commotion coming from the beach area. My house, is this a dream? My house, is this a dream? The 2020s have started. Yes. You know, I ended off 2019 by saying my house, is this a dream? And I started by saying my house, is this a dream? What a great thing to do. Where I live, the first lockdown took place during March. At first, I took this opportunity to attempt weekly uploads on my channel. Since I was only doing online school, that means I'll be at home much more than usual, which meant that I could put more focus on my videos. Online school was pretty good. It was quite easier than usual to get away with not doing any work, although it was slightly more stressful in the instances where schoolwork had to get done. I'm gonna go over all of my weekly uploads of 2020, and I want you to see if you can notice a trend. The first weekly uploads attempt spanned from the 4th of May to the 11th of July. There were 9 videos released during this time. 7 of these videos were released purely because I had to adhere to a weekly upload schedule. The second weekly uploads attempt spanned from the 23rd of August to the 21st of September. There were 5 videos released during this time. There was one that was going to be included, but I stalled with that one and released it later on because of a problem, which I'll get into later. 2 of these videos were released purely because I had to adhere to a weekly upload schedule. Now that one's not as bad as the first attempt, but when you rally all of these videos up, you are left with 14 videos. 9 of these videos were released purely because I had to adhere to a weekly upload schedule. 9 of them. Wow. I uploaded old videos of mine for the sake of filling in the weekly upload schedule. Even without having to physically go to school, I still gave in to my tendencies of wasting my time. Although during 2020 there was this thing I dubbed the interlacing saga that happened with me. For whatever reason, my editing software Final Cut Pro began displaying my footage in this grainy state with implications of what looked like interlacing when movement was happening in the footage. This drove me bonkers, and was even enough to prevent me from editing the 3rd episode of The Concrete Club. I've kinda fixed it now by just kinda making my footage set with 59 frames per second, but I mean, I still have to look into this to ensure I'm completely satisfied with how The Concrete Club will come out. Overall, this probably didn't affect me too much, but it's still something to think about. Something else to think about is how, despite me citing school as something that could possibly weigh into my tendencies to waste my time, it can also be determined that I actually like going to school, specifically for the social aspect. So that technically means that I spend $8,000 a year to have friends. Nice. But since I couldn't go to school anymore in 2020, that left me to myself. And since my unproductive and lackadaisical tendencies began to kick in, it caused something drastic to happen. I can safely say that the year of 2020 is the ultimate apogee and zenith of my patheticness. The lockdown invigorated everything that was wrong with my neglectful little life. Perhaps there was a slight tint of self-destructiveness that wasn't there beforehand. I seem to have just given into whatever it was that had consumed me. Wow. Wowee, what an intriguing year. This is all represented in the failure of Eon Con 2020. The lack of action and dismal effort caused it to become what it is. Well, this video is technically the real Eon Con 2020. Remember what I said earlier about Eon Cons being representations of their respective years? This whole video of me talking about the failure of Eon Con 2020 and just the year in general is Eon Con 2020. Eon Con is just a force of its own. Now, one thing to note is that I labeled 2020 as being the apogee and zenith of my patheticness. This is because things will be different in the future. On the 15th of February, 2021, I devised a brand new saga, which began action on the following day. The self-validation saga is an ongoing thing by the time this video comes out, in which I rate every day from 0 to 5 in terms of productivity with my creative projects. It's just a general way of consciously and concessively determining if I feel validated by my progress moving forward, of moving away from the cycle of wasteful time. I know that rating each day from 0 to 5 is a component of it, but just simply doing things like playing video games or going outside is a way to generally round up a day as a validly self-validating day. You can even try this too. I mean, just note down how you feel about each day. You can have the 0 to 5 rating system like I do, or you could just kind of ignore that and just consciously pay attention to how self-validating you thought your day was. I always ensure that I'm up to date on how I find each day. Just writing this script and also voicing over it has gotta be acts that lead up to the score of at least 2 points. There will be cool things to happen this year. Episodes 3 to 6 of The Concrete Club will be released in what I hope to be July, and I plan on the second season to be filmed throughout this year. There's also definitely going to be some one-off videos coming out this year to look forward to. In conclusion, I gotta say I'm all around optimistic about how I'll handle myself moving forward. 2020 may have been an intriguingly dismal year, but I have still learned from it. 2020 was the ultimate representation of my subconscious self-destructive negligence. Like I said, this has been a problem for me for years now. It's sad to think about because, in a way, I feel like I let it take me over too much. I think everyone has potential in the world. My potential seemed to solemnly be displayed over these years. These years of mine, being young, have been soiled in a way. Sure, some cool things have happened to me. I still feel really proud and accomplished with myself for some of the things I've done. But at the same time, I don't think my potential was realized to its fullest extent. Those years of mine are behind me, but there's still a saving grace. My years of mine are still going. I'm still alive. Things can happen. I can move forward with a vengeance of my past. A vengeance of my idiotic ways of disregarding my fullest potential. Listen, John, I know you're out there somewhere, and all I gotta say is, I will avenge you. Do you hear me? Do you hear me, you big idiot? I will avenge you. I will avenge you. I mean it. You're gone. Hopefully not for nothing, though.